Hey, thanks for joining me. What is a speaker's bureau? Have you heard of them before? I'll tell you, having worked in the industry of speaking for the last 20 plus years, there's so many things you need to know about a speaker's bureau. I'm excited to share them with you. So let's roll in. Imagine for a minute that you are a rock star. You know, you probably are. You get on stage, you kill it, everybody loves you. What happens now? Do you follow up? Do you have to go after all of those leads and you have to try to get business to continue rolling? Or what if you had a speaker's bureau that could help you? Somebody who knows the industry, who's been there, done that, who has all their systems, processes in place, and you can just stand on stage and kill it every time because you're so awesome. That's the power of what a speaker's bureau does. We're going to talk about some of the good things that they do, which they are amazing, and they can be a secret weapon for your business. So what is a speaker's bureau? Well, essentially they're a middleman between you and the gig or the client, right? And so a lot of speakers don't have the personality to run their own business. A lot of speakers like myself, we'd rather be artists and create and be spending our time practicing or working or getting better at what we're doing when we do get on the stage. And so then a lot of speakers that are really great that don't have all those things in place for their business starts to really collapse. The benefit of a speaker's bureau is that they know how to run your business for you. They've been there, done that. They have all kinds of clients that are amazing. These are speakers bureau agencies, essentially. They're like a super agent that can get you gigs that you could never get yourself. For example, I know some corporations that won't even talk to me directly. They'll only talk to a speaker's bureau because they don't want to deal with my office. They don't want to deal with me. They believe that a speaker's bureau would be better. And in a lot of senses, it can be. And so that's why I like to promote the benefits of a speaker's bureau and how helpful they truly are. Majority of the time, what I've found from speaker's bureaus is that it's actually somebody who was a speaker, or still maybe is, and they realize they're so good at running their business, and they're so good at cultivating clients and getting gigs for other speakers that they put together a bureau. And so the speaker's bureau usually brings in some of the best salespeople, managerial people, and they help to create the event with the client. And so a lot of the times they're not looking just necessarily for who can we find out of somewhere in the middle of nowhere. No, they're looking for people on their roster that they can insert within the needs of that client's events. It's a very powerful place to be if you're a speaker, to have a bureau representing you. The nice thing about a bureau is that they also have these clients that are with them for, it seems like forever. If a bureau does a good job, that client wants to only use that bureau, and all the speakers that they know about, have vetted, have curated, know that they're going to do a good job. Because think about it. If a bureau puts together a listing of 5 or 10 speakers for one conference and they all are great, they're going to get that job the next year. But if they have a dud or two, it might get shaky. And so they need to have somebody who nails it every time. If you're that type of speaker, then working with a speaker's bureau is a really great benefit for you. So let's talk about a real life analogy where a speaker's bureau is better than having just your own situation. So let's say you're a sports athlete, professional, basketball player. You need an agent. Unfortunately, if somebody was trying to do a shoe deal or a contract negotiation as an athlete, you would think that sounds ridiculous. That could be very similar within the speaking world as well. You see, a speaker is great on stage. They're good at traveling. They're good at the different things that they do, writing blogs and so forth. That's what I'm good at. But then the agent is the speaker's bureau. They have the contracts. They have all the processes and systems in place. They're able to anticipate the challenges that will happen. They're able to then also get everything lined up so you don't even have to think about it. If you're a speaker and you're thinking, man, this is too many details, maybe a speaker's bureau is the right situation for you to align with. So you might ask yourself, why do you need a speaker's bureau? Well, a speaker's bureau, like I said, can get you into clients that you never could, but also because that allows you to just do what you do best, which is be on stage and perform, or be online and do your event. And so when you think about all the benefits of it, I've named some of them already, from the planning and processes that they go through, also to gathering all the details. In fact, there are times when contracts with big conferences and clients can be so much red tape that you don't want to deal with it. And so having a bureau Bureau be able to get through all of that because they've been there, done that. They know how to do it. There's also something that's very beneficial called the IASB, the International Association of Speakers Bureaus. If you're so lucky, and I've never actually gotten this gig, if you're so lucky to showcase for that, that's where all the speakers bureaus are watching speakers. In fact, as a speaker, you have to pay to showcase for that. And so if you're willing to put in a good chunk of money, and you might not get the gig, they actually have a couple rounds of qualifiers. And I've just never had that opportunity. But if you have the opportunity, I hope you'll take it. IASB, go check it out. If you showcase for the bureaus and they all love you, I know friends, and I have dear friends that have gone from doing okay as speakers to now making 25 to 35,000 a speech because they killed it at the IASB conference. Here's some of the advantages of a client having a speakers bureau help them out. First of all, the client knows that these speakers have been vetted, that these speakers have gone through a process of earning being represented by that speakers bureau. I'm on a lot of speakers bureaus rosters, but I'm not exclusive with a speakers bureau. There's a big difference. That would mean that everything I would get in my business would go through the speakers bureau. However, I now just get calls from certain speakers bureaus for one date at a time, and we work on a one date per date basis, and I love doing that. There is a client that I had years ago called the $1 Million Roundtable. It's the top financial planner event in the world for insurance and financial planning. And the MDRT is what they're called. They will only go through bureaus. They do not want to work directly with the speaker. So if you want some of the largest events in the world, you have to get on the roster of a speakers bureau. And here's an overlooked advantage of working with a speakers bureau. When a gig comes in, you have an emotional reaction as a speaker. You're like, oh my gosh, they put a hold on the date. I'm so excited. And then you get all invested in the idea of, I'm going to have a gig in Puerto Rico. And then it falls apart. Well, that happens a lot. We get a lot of holds that never come through. And that's just either the budget didn't work out, the calendaring was a problem, I wasn't the right fit. That happens all the time. But if you have a speakers bureau dealing with it, they're a third party. They can take all the emotion out of it and they can just say, hey, the gig didn't come through and here's why. And then we move on to the next one. It takes a bit of the sting out. Let me tell you what sets apart some of the best speakers bureaus as far as how I've worked with them. The most important for me is that they represent the types of speakers that I want to be aligned with. The other is that I'm excited to work with them and they're excited to work with me. They're going to pitch me and I'm going to be at the top of their list. They're good at communicating. They let me know exactly where the gig lies. So they'll usually say, do you have this date open? I'll say yes. Put a hold. Now, they're going to keep me updated. The worst speakers bureaus, I hate to say it, they never tell you. They never tell you if the gig fell apart, if you're not in it anymore. But the best speakers bureaus, they go, oh, hey, that one didn't work out. You're not on their calendar anymore. And then you're at least, you don't need to hold the date anymore, if that makes sense. It's a big deal. Also, the best speakers bureaus pay you on time. I've worked with some bureaus that didn't pay me for over a year. That made it so I didn't want to work with them ever again. Or I had to hunt down the money. That was crazy. But if you work with a bureau that pays you, usually they pay 30 to 60 days out. They'll keep it in the contract. They'll let you know. Some of my other favorite parts about working with the bureau, usually I do not request a green room. Like this room is a green room, but at a gig, it's a green room where you get ready for the event. I never request that. I don't request meals and other things backstage. And I don't even request a driver, a limo, or anything from the airport. The bureau makes that happen. All my limousine drivers, all of the catered food, all the different things, even a gift basket in the hotel. That's when I know it's a bureau gig because the bureau wants me to feel so special when I get there. I don't even have to think about doing anything but being great on stage. So if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, oh, I don't know if I want to work with the speakers bureau or should I work with one? Well, I would love for you to take the ICM process. And this is a challenge for you. I want you to go through it and identify, clarify, magnify your talents, gifts, and skills. You see, if you have the talents of running your business well, then maybe you don't need to work with that many speakers bureaus. But if you identify that you're better not dealing with any details at all, then yes, definitely you want to work with the speakers bureau. So go to icmprocess.com and check that out. And I know that that will help you. In fact, I have a friend, his name is Chris Bacchinelli, one of the best speakers in the whole world. If you go to chrisbacchinelli.com, you'll enjoy checking him out. He absolutely does not want to deal with the details of a gig. And so he aligns himself with all the speakers bureaus that get him the events that he wants. He manages a great schedule because he only does the ones that they refer him for. He always gets his full fee because speakers bureaus are able to get your fee to a higher level. And there are so many great benefits to working with the speakers bureau. My challenge for you, if you want, go into the comments, Type in your favorite speakers bureau if you've worked with one and you're a speaker. And I would appreciate knowing that. I will reply to you if I've worked with them as well. And I wish you the best in working with speakers bureaus. They are truly your super agents for getting the best gigs out there.